some of these around his ankles.
He probably does.
Yeah. Oh, well, he like that too.
Like I said, I know a lot of people know your grandparents, Chris, and you know they know the stories from the the movies and all that other stuff. But tell us about yourself. Like what are you all about, and what's the foundation all about? Yeah, leave me out. It's been trying to leave me out of this whole show.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's been crazy. So yeah, everybody, just so y'all know tonight, Dana is going to actually kind of run the show. Okay, I've had enough of that.
I know.
There's actually people on TikTok Live that do that, and they have thousands of viewers. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
and people like, and they send them the little like token thingies
Yeah,
and all that.
they
It's just
whisper and make noises.
crazy,
It's
and
the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
and they talk super quiet, like you can barely hear them. So we were making fun. We said, well, we got to do that. Yeah, I know, right? That's why we were like, we can't do it for very long because it will be like,
we're done, Rachel.
yeah,
Fear
that
not.
would not do it. Okay, so we got a couple people in here. So what should we talk about
Who
first?
else in here? Let's find out who's in here first.
So it looks like Rachel and Sue. If you're in here, you can go ahead and say it. Jerry's in here. Just don't start eating on camera. Oh yeah, they do that too, and they're eating. Yeah, that one's. Yeah, they do that too.
Oh, don't worry. I've got a whole skit written about how I'm going to roast TikTok Live.
Although,
It's gonna be great.
we have found out something recently. Out of the blue, I just started making TikToks, and it's called Boo and Friends. And it's just the dogs at daycare, and then Maggie that comes to daycare when she's in town. And I've gotten more views than Jeff has. And he's like, really? I think I've only posted 4, maybe 5 videos. I can't even remember. But I've gotten, I think, I'm almost to 3,000 views on just the first video I ever did. So, just a little jelly on that one.
Just a little bit. Hey, Sue, how you doing? Yeah, we were roasting TikTok Live people. Don't worry, we haven't totally lost our minds.
No, it's
we're getting
just
close,
annoying.
but we're not quite there yet. So I've got let's see, what can we talk about today? Here, okay. So you and I talked about this a little bit last night. Here is how bad Toledo paranormal drama was for a while. That I was talking to a guy last night from Alabama, and he knew
Alabama.
all about it.
New names.
He knew names.
And the drama part of it.
Like, I'm like, dude, you're in freaking Alabama. How in the hell do you know what
goes on in Toledo?
It's ridiculous.
But that's now what we've had guests from 4 different states.
Yeah.
That
I
have
thought
all
Kentucky
known about it.
was bad enough, but nope.
And
down to
then
Alabama.
what
I should
was
reach out
Kentucky,
west.
and then it was Georgia?
Was it? It might have been Georgia. I don't know.
Where's Biker?
She's in Kentucky.
But then the one, she's in Georgia too, isn't
Chris,
she?
yeah, Chris. Well, yeah, but they're partners.
But still, she's in Georgia. So I mean, if they know it down there, it's like.
No, I didn't get a haircut, Jerry. I just.
He washed it.
Took a shower and it's kind of combed, and I feel ridiculous sitting here in a salmon shirt, or is this pink?
It's peach. Anyhow, he
peach.
had to take a professional picture, because he is now a director for the Warren Legacy Foundation.
I'm the regional Midwest director for the Warren Legacy Foundation. Now, some might let that power go to their head, but
he's
not
already.
This guy. No, I'm not. You know me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like
he's
making
trying to
things about
take
myself.
over the world.
Yes, this is just my first step. First the Midwest, then the South, then we're moving west, then the world. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. So if we ever get any new viewers and you're thinking, boy, this guy's a egotistical maniac.
Yeah.
I'm 90% BS. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
exactly,
right, Don.
I
That's
mean,
right.
if you want an autograph, I'd probably get one now before I start selling them.
Okay.
Just kidding. No, but let's we talked about it last week, but we'll talk about it for a couple minutes again this week too. We do really want to get good people involved in this. It's a good group. It doesn't cost anything to be involved. The theory behind it is that one, we help people, and two is that a whole bunch of researchers get together and share their research, with each other. So you can, and obviously if they get cases, they send the members out to perform them and stuff like that. But if you've got your own team and you do a case, you're encouraged to submit your findings so that everybody can, it's good to have a database like that so that, like, if I've got a question about something, we can.
And which we've already
used.
I mean,
yeah,
we've
actually used quite a few of the members.
Yeah, I mean, and it's been helpful because I mean, it's even like answering questions for me that I had I mean, they actually made me aware of things that I didn't even think about.
Yeah.
Being a sensitive, and I was like, oh, yeah, and so now we actually are taking steps to fix that. And
it's a good group, and like I said too, we're going to do some. They have a Patreon page and YouTube and all that essentials that everybody else has, but we're going to be doing some. We're going to do a couple shows that'll be pretty cool for the Patreon page. It's serious and lighthearted, and Heather came up with a new one today that I'll tell you about. We have to do an orb special, and immediately, where does my mind go? Me running around the backyard with a bubble suit on and a flashlight, pretending to be a freaking orb.
Oh, we can do that.
Then you dress up like a mosquito and come and tell me that I'm not a spirit. I'm just dust.
Okay,
we
can do that.
And then we fight.
That will be fun.
So that's where my
we got to
goes.
go to Carmen's house to do that.
Yeah, because we can run around that field or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
then
Jesus.
people won't look at us like we're crazy.
That is a copyrighted idea, so no one can steal that. Just saying. So you want to give the Boo update?
Yeah. So Don was asking about Boo. Boo is still not feeling good. She's still not eating real well for us. If some of you don't know the story, it started last show. She was sitting behind me and I was trying to give her treats and she wouldn't eat the treats. So basically she stopped eating Thursday, and Friday she ate nothing. And then Saturday she got really sick, and we ended up, we were supposed to go to Harold St. John's house for a message circle, and it ended up Jeff stayed home with her because she was that sick. We couldn't leave her by herself. And so Sunday it ended up we had to take her to the ER because she was not eating and she was throwing up, diarrhea, everything.
I just wanted to make sure it wasn't an obstruction.
Yeah, and that's what we were worried about, that she had an obstruction, which she did not have an obstruction, but she's got something gastronal going on. She finally started, well, she is milking it a little bit.
A little bit.
We'll go over that in a minute. So Sunday she got IV fluids, and she got some a nausea medication. The oral ones they gave us, she won't eat because she's not eating. I can't give them to her because she's supposed to take them with food, but she's not eating enough to take them, and she knows enough to know that they're medicine when I give her a treat or anything. So, and she's very minimal of what she's eating. She was eating nibbles of chicken and rice.
But that started Sunday. She didn't eat anything Friday or Saturday or the majority of Sunday. So
yeah, Sunday evening she ate just a little bit of rice with just a little bit of chicken. Monday she ate a little bit more rice and chicken, but I stayed home from work with her. That's how bad it was. I stayed home from work with her. And then Tuesday she went to daycare and she was eating a little bit more rice and chicken. Then yesterday, we switched her to some hamburger, and she did fine with that and put a little bit of her kibble in it, and she did fine. And she was starting to get a little bit more active. Today, they kind of overworked her at daycare. They made her go outside for a little bit longer than she probably wanted to, but she didn't eat at daycare. So we brought her home, and we thought, well, maybe she'll eat when we come home. Well, she didn't want to eat, so I ended up having to hand feed her hamburger. So we're back to hand feeding her hamburger, and she's laying down here now. As you can tell, she's not feeling well because she's not made an appearance for 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
She's laying down here, but for some reason we can't get the just pictures to load of her on the StreamYard. But
yeah, StreamYard, unless someone knows how, they will not let you. They'll let you put videos, but not pictures.
yeah. So there's Miss Boo now. You can see her. She's just laying down there, just chilling. Her little miserable little face.
But that being said, she is a lot better than she is.
Yeah, she is.
Tons better.
It's hard to see the pictures. Yeah, she's doing a lot better, but she's still sleeping a lot and not moving around a lot. The part that she's milking, this is so funny. She won't. When she's at daycare, she'll jump up on the couch and she'll jump into the car for Josh. I get home. She has to be picked up to get in the car. She has to be picked up to get on the couch. She has to be picked up to be put on the bed. It's like, and she looks at me. She'll just look up at me like, really? You're not going to let him hit me? And it's like, no. So, yeah, she's milking that. And then I think the feeding by hand is becoming a milking part too. Because
that pretty soon.
And it's like that, but that's what I had to do Monday. I had to feed her by hand, and then she started eating, and now we're back to where she's not wanting to eat again. So, but she did eat a little bit this morning, so she ate a little bit by hand. So we're gonna try it again tonight after she goes up for the last time. So we'll hopefully find out that if she's not getting better, but if she still maintains where she's at for another she's probably by Monday. If she's still, then we'll have to take her back to the vet. But.
All right, we should talk ghosts because people are starting to leave.
But so keep thinking about her because she's still a sleepy pup.
Yeah. So I've got a gripe as usual, and it's not the stuff that I normally complain about, although it's a little similar. So, somebody shared some case photos with me the other day that it's a potential case that they're thinking about doing. It's somebody who has been told that they already thought that they were like coming under possession, which there's a lot of steps that you go to, obviously, before you make that conclusion that someone is possessed. But she had a team come in and they did an investigation, and they had I think it was all taken in one night, but they had about 20 to 25 pictures of crazy stuff. Black shadow people, these white streaky things, big red dots on people's faces, and throughout the room. The orbs that they had photos of were, I mean,
it looks like light bouncing off of something.
They were just real big and green and perfect and
like they were. The one, it looked like a line circle and then had like almost like an edging around
like the COVID virus.
Yeah.
It looked like a molecule diagram.
It was.
But anyway, so it's automatically I'm thinking, and others that we're talking about the case too, we're thinking that okay, these pictures don't look right. There's something to these pictures, and it. Upon further review, they weren't like pictures where you'd make a mistake and see a piece of dust and think it's an orb. I mean, they were made. Yeah. So went on this team's Facebook page, and the same anomalies happened at every investigation that they went to. Like the orbs were identical. The red spots, which I've never seen that in haunted pictures before, is these red spots.
Yeah.
And the shadow masses were, in the light anomalies, the streaky lights and stuff. It was every place they went to had the same stuff.
Well, the red spots, it almost looked like they took like red dye and dropped it on the picture.
Or like dropped it on the lens.
Yeah, on the lens. It was just like it was weird.
Just a little drip, and then they enhanced it. Like so it wasn't like they took a picture with a dirty lens and I mean, these were clearly fake.
Yeah.
And then, so that's bad enough. It's bad enough if you were to go to like the reformatory and take pictures and fake them and put them on your page so that people look at it and stuff like that. But they showed these to a client, which then is now more convinced that she's possessed. and like really, really freaking out now. And I don't know. I think they referred her to someone that could then take care of it through exorcisms at like $350 a shot. And of course, one exorcism isn't going to cure the problem. You've got to go multiple sessions. And these people were broke and did not have the money. But if you think you're possessed, you're probably going to spend everything that you have. Looks like Don's saying something, but he's not saying.
It's not coming through.
So they paid quite a bit of money to get the problem fixed, and of course the problem isn't fixed. So in there, I'm not saying she's possessed. I'm saying that the proper steps need to happen first, medical first. She's got certain symptoms that she needs to go to a doctor and tell the doctor what the symptoms are, not what she thinks they're caused by. That's step one. And so I mean, that's just like I know there's scammers out there and stuff like that, but this is the first time I've actually witnessed like this is some bullshit like that. It really, really made me mad.
Yeah.
To prey on people like that is a different kind of evil. I mean, it's just sick.
Yeah. I mean, when I saw him, I mean, it's just like, seriously. I mean, because I don't do a lot of I don't look at a lot of the pictures and that, but you could obviously see that they were really seriously trying to
because if you
make them.
Let's say you go investigate. If you got one interesting photo out of like 3 or 4 investigations, that's
cool. Yeah.
That would be maybe a normal ratio. But to get 20 in one spot, and get these, and I never ever would do this. I wish I could show the pictures.
Yeah.
Because they are like, when you see them at all of the sites that they've investigated, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because I even saw them, I was just like.
I mean, they were, like, if they were legit orbs, I mean, those would convince me that, okay, maybe that
But they weren't even close to looking like a possible orb.
Because no one really shows orbs. They show dust.
But the streaks, I mean, like the streaks they had, it was, you could see light bouncing off like a light on a table here, and then the orb was like more up like this.
But they were,
way. It was weird.
They were nothing like I've ever seen before. I mean, you know what I'm saying? The look of them, the shape of them, like if I didn't know that they were faked, I would have thought, well, that might be a legitimate orb. So that's another reason. So yeah, Don, we get lots of pictures too, but
But once with actual orbs, it's not.
All the pictures that I see, and we're, Don, I know you're on that one page, that Ohio group page. These people send in this stuff, and then you tell them it's, you tell them what it probably is, and then they argue with you because they're possessed and they know better than you, and all this other. It's just nuts. Yeah, see, that's another common thing, and that's the thing about photos is, I mean, you could catch things in pictures that, like, oh, I don't think Harold was in the room, and I've got a shadow on the picture, but you don't know that for sure.
Right.
You don't know exactly what, you don't know who was in the room and stuff like that unless you had a camera and you could,
Yeah, well, and we've had pictures that way. I mean, we seriously have. I mean, go back and it's like, all right, where was everybody at? But we walk through it and we usually can figure out what it is. And now, because we don't want to be like, hey, this is actually it. I mean, we will walk through and be like, okay, where was everybody at? And we don't. Very rarely, like the one time. Oh, this was one. I mean, for me, I actually saw a live orb at the mill, and I thought I had my camera on video, and I didn't. I took my finger off of it, and it just literally went right past my screen of my phone. And I thought I caught it, and I didn't. But you could see it go right in front of me and right off. And I was like, seriously. But.
And that's what I've said, that I had the orb experience that I had in here twice.
Yeah.
And it was like, I mean,
it's not like a ball of light. A lot of times, people think that the orb is always going to be round. Almost.
Mine was about the size of a eraser.
The orbs that I've seen have been like more like oblong than round.
And the ones too the 2 that I've ever seen in my life were in here, and it wasn't like a quick flash. It was like
it's very slow.
It was moving really, really slow. and it, then went and circled behind me and was gone. So I mean,
Yeah.
and I watched it. It was, clearly it wasn't a bug or anything like that. So
Yeah.
but yeah, Jerry, it was kind of, I guess, maybe more like a gunshot or a firework. The pictures. I mean,
Yeah.
it looked like
Yeah.
it definitely had some like scaly outside to it.
It was I laugh because it almost looks like some of the cutout things I use on my Cricut,
Yeah.
like some of the designs I use on my Cricut. That's what it kind of looked like. It was weird.
But to do that and show somebody that's already in a bad mental state because they think they're possessed or on
Yeah.
the verge of it, like that's just, I don't even know. I don't know how, like, let alone one person on a team can do that, let alone a team of, it looked like there was about 7 or 8 that were on that team. So, I mean, how do you convince, or is one person doing it and the other 6 on the team think that the pictures are legit? I don't know. That's a possibility too.
I mean, when we get pictures in, I know, like, if Harold gets pictures, he sends them to us. If we get pictures, and we'll send them to Jerry. We'll send them we send them to several people being like, hey, check these out.
Yeah, he showed me a couple recently that, and you saw them too, is that, like,
somebody's being mean to somebody.
My thought is someone is breaking into this house
because it looks like
that
people.
is a solid person standing in your doorway, and she's claiming that no one else was there, and there's someone else coming up the stairs. It's like that's not a shadow figure or a transparent see-through thing. That's a person.
It's like, and there's 2 different pictures, and it's like,
but those are
persons.
But they are creepy.
They are creepy, but because they're the night vision, of course, because it's dark. So
the other was color.
Was it? I thought they were both black
and
white.
The one coming up the stairs was color, but it was like a grainy, crappy picture, so it looks like almost a skeleton.
But I thought it was black and white too.
I wish I could show those two.
Yeah, it's crazy because and it looks like the one for sure, for sure it's a person.
Yeah.
They have a bag in their hand and a hoodie on, so you can tell it's a person. The other one, that's the one that's kind of like, it looks like a person, but it looks like something on top, almost like a mask on top, but it's not. But it doesn't look like a mask on top, so it's kind of weird.
I wish Adam would have that on his website or something like that. But yeah, Jerry said the most compelling image he's ever seen is that picture at the film.
Yeah,
that is. I agree with you.
That's crazy.
That's one of the best pictures I've ever seen in my life. And
yeah,
I know and that's the thing too, is that I know Adam. I know it's authentic. I know he debunked it. I know.
Yeah, and he was able to easily debunk. That it's there.
Because he took a series of 3, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
it's in one and not. The
I get
others,
goosebumps when I think about that one, because that is just really, to get that picture that he has is crazy.
Yeah, I think he showed it on his live before.
I think he has shown it on his show. Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty freaky.
Yeah, it's pretty creepy there.
So who all is in here? I'm seeing Don and Jerry, and I know Sue was in here. Rachel was in here. I don't know if
there's a Zero watching. I don't know if they're still watching.
Who?
This I've never saw who that is.
Could be maybe a warm person. I don't know. Although we get the occasional across the pond viewer.
Across the pond.
Yeah, like England. Remember
yeah. We do. Yeah, we do occasionally. We do get people from other countries and
worldwide show.
We get them from every different directions, and usually it's when they just stumble upon us because we're live, so they're going through. Then it's like,
the algorithm.
Yeah. And so just because they might have looked up something else,
I've
and
actually
it just pops up.
Stumbled across some decent shows though, just random.
Well, that's how I've been lately. I've been finding some other interesting ones to kind of talk about.
I guess the rest of the world, no, it doesn't start till 8, but those hearings are tonight, so we're probably gonna lose all of our viewers at 8 o'clock because everybody's so excited to watch the prime time.
So did you talk about your rant? Okay, so you're done ranting? Done with your soapbox for the night?
Yeah, that was it. I mean, that's a different level of evil.
Did you pull up that one I wanted to show?
No. So this is the next. We'll consider this breaking news because everybody's talking about this.
So this was something.
You want me to pull it up?
You can pull it up. I'll talk about it. So, this came across, and it kind of, because I've been trying to find something that we could talk about. So this ended up appearing, oddly enough, on my Facebook this morning, or not this morning, yesterday. And it's actually from a zoo in Texas. And some of you may have seen it already, but if not, they actually have night cams because of their exhibits and that, in case an animal gets out or something. But at this night, none of the animals were out. There was nobody in the zoo at this time. And they literally can't figure this out. And they're kind of making fun and say, hey, we want the public to try to tell us what this is. So this is what they have caught on.
Okay. Yeah, give me a second. I'll find the video. This might mute us. So
Okay.
here we go. I'm going to get the video real quick. I've already got it pulled up.
Okay.
Thought I did. Well, wait, what? Give me a second, people. Everybody stay on.
What did you
This
do?
This is not it.
No.
I don't know what the hell that
There it
was.
is.
Okay, here we go. Hopefully you guys are seeing this.
It's not
No,
showing.
it's not showing it.
All right. Jeff's having
Yeah. apparently it is.
some difficulties here. Hold on. What are you doing?
I don't know. Apparently I don't know what I'm doing.
Apparently not.
Yeah, let's scrap this idea because
All right. Well, anyhow, so if you, here I go, getting on my camera. Thank gosh I have this. Yeah, right.
Jerry.
Thank gosh I have this on here. Okay. So I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it real great again, but that was in the armadillo exhibit. That's where it was at. And they're trying to figure out what it is. And
It looks like Master Splinter to me.
yeah, and it's funny because somebody said it looks like Sonic, the Hedgehog. But so that's what the exhibit is. So if you go on there,
So
what?
I'm not trying to interrupt. I'm just gonna say, what do you guys think?
Yes, because then it's funny because the zoos, like, they're making it lighthearted. I mean, they really want to figure out what it is, but it's only they've only seen it one time. This is the first and only time they've seen it, but there was like nothing that showed that there was anything in there. So they're just really trying to figure out what it was.
I think it's a chupacabra.
Well, that's what somebody had said, and so they're kind of like, who knows?
I mean,
But
I'd like to see the video because I doubt that they just had a security camera that took stills.
I don't know, but I guess it does, like every so many seconds it takes one from what somebody said. So like every 3 or 4 seconds it takes
It's
a video.
2022. Why do you not have video?
I don't know. Well, maybe they do, and it's just that nobody has it, and they're just
Or that's
showing
the only image that has that image
that
on it.
you-
And
yeah.
therefore they don't want you to see the video because then it'll show what it actually is. So
Who knows? Because they even thought, well, maybe it was one of their animals that got out and was walking fine, but they're like, no, everything was accounted for or secured in the cage, so they don't know what it is. But I thought it was kind of interesting that was I thought that was an interesting creature.
Yep.
Because you don't see that every day.
Could be a dog man. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, so if you have thoughts, let us know
Yeah.
what you think it could be, or just go up and look at
Just
punch it in.
Google Amarillo Zoo and it'll pop
Yep.
right up because everybody's talking about it now.
Yeah, so it's been on there. Like I said, it's kind of crazy. So,
Yep.
all right.
So you're the one that wanted to talk about dark energy and dark entities tonight.
Well, or negative energies.
Negative, that's what I meant.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, because a lot of people ask me about negative energy, and granted, I'm still on my journey with the mediumship and that, and I still every day learn more and more stuff about the different energies and that. But something that, I mean, a lot of people will ask when we go to when we do investigations, people always think when we cleanse at the end that we're actually removing stuff from
Removing entities.
and spirits. And we really aren't. We're just clearing the negative energy. It's not like we're
There's
like,
a-
or if there's like, it would be a demon or something. We're not clearing that
Yeah,
stuff.
sage. Okay, so one of the common cleansing agents is sage.
Mhm.
Sage is not going to remove
No.
an entity, or it certainly isn't going to remove a demon. You
No,
know, sage
but
is
it's
to
there.
clear
It's
actual energy.
energy. And so that's something that I figured, no, that's something that we could talk about, because a lot of people don't understand that that's what
Right.
we do. It's not, but you also have to believe in what you're doing
But there's also ways of
and intent.
kicking entities out,
Yes.
but it's not with sage.
No. And what I have learned now is the way that I now cleanse afterwards is a little different than what I did before. I've added a few. Actually, I have a new box that now when I go on investigations that we actually take with us now, because there's, for different types of energies, I've learned that I can use different things to clear those energies. For instance, when we went to Harold's house, one of the things that I made sure I did is I had frankincense and myrrh. I used tobacco. Yeah, Jeff was excited for that one.
That's a little known green swamp go-to staple.
Jerry knows about that one too. But I used
Jerry,
like just a combination of things to burn, because I know there's things at Harold's house, and I wanted them to behave.
Everybody knows there's things
Yeah.
at Harold's house.
And Harold wanted them to behave. So I basically used those extra little things because I knew that would help to guide them. And they did behave. This is funny because I know where they hid.
We need to talk about this too, because when you said that, it brought up a point. Do we think that we can control them? Like, do we really think we can restrict them to a certain part of the house and say, stay here for a little while, you're allowed to come out?
Well,
like,
okay. For instance, at Harold's, I know one place, I'm not going to say where they exactly hid, but they actually all went to one place in the house for the time that we were, and I told them they were not allowed to come out of those areas until Harold released them, because Harold has a weird.
Harold definitely wants to like coexist with them. Like,
and he has,
rules on them.
Yep, and those are the ones I use those as well, Rachel. But Harold at his house, I mean, at one point he locked him up in the garage. So for the message circle,
my thought has always been, but did he?
Or
is that a very, Harold's not arrogant, but is that a very like, why do we think we can control them?
I don't know.
Put them in a place for a little while and let them out when we're done.
I don't know, but it's weird. But I think maybe it's a mutual respect. Why did you ask for something and you got it back?
But that's different than saying you can and can't do this. That's more of a.
But you
say,
basically said, give it back to me.
But I said it nicely. Let's say you took my recorders, and I never asked you to have them back.
Mm-hmm.
And then you waited until I finally did ask you politely to give them back, and then you give them back.
Yeah,
like that's different than, that's what I guess a spirit thing. Like, how do I think that I can say something's in here? No, you go in that bedroom and you don't come out until like.
I think it's a mutual respect with Harold. Because he's had these for so many times. Because literally, there was one that and it was so sweet, in a way, but it did not follow everybody else out and hide with everybody else went, but this one, and he stayed in that office, and when I went up there, he was in the corner and he goes, I won't be misbehave or something, and it was like, okay, or I'll be good. It was like, shh, I'll be good. So it was like, okay. And so and then when we were outside during the message circle, he would just you could see just kind of pop out of the window just to look to see what was going on. But then Adam was up there, and apparently Adam didn't have any issues with him. But he just kind of blended into the corner and just was like, shh, I'm going to be good. The other ones, I know where they were at. And were they in the garage when people started to leave? No, they were not. No. And so, and I also, though, I mean, because I blessed and cleansed the house before and after, and I told them that they could not go back to where they like to play, or where they like to hide and to play until Harold told them they could. So, and that said, I think Harold spoke to him before we got there, because his house was very. It was very. Usually, when you get there, you get it. It was not.
It depends. There's times you go to Harold's and everything is great, and there's times you go there, it's like, man, this
Yeah,
house
but
is
it
so
was like
freaky.
usually I'm like really heavy when I go. This time I was real light when I went, so it was like, yeah, what'd you do? But I think he just kind of was like, all right, I told them they had, and he took care of them, but they were very. I mean, it was not like it normally is. Excuse me, when you go to Harold's, but I think he's just gotten a mutual respect with them now, and they just kind of basically, if you want to stay here, you have to follow my rules, kind of. But it was.
But they've and the dangerous thing about that though is that they've caused problems before.
Mm-hmm.
Recently too, they
Mm-hmm.
caused problems.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who spent the night.
But that's another story with some of that.
Someone who spent the night at 2:30 in the morning was going to go home because something threw something.
But they always like to torment that person too.
Yeah.
And I think it's because they know. Yeah, because I think they know that it bugs them.
Yep.
And so they just keep tormenting because it bugs them.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
But yeah, so with the night, that's why, I mean, for me, a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people don't understand why that, or everybody will laugh. People at work laugh at me because I always talk about negative. I'm like, no negative energy. But
let me say this. Hang on before you continue, because here's the thing, and I know you to be credible, but like, if you tell that story that you just told about peeking in the corner and stuff like that, people are going to look at you funny, like, what?
Yeah.
You're nuts. I mean, I don't have those experiences. That's the thing. I know you're not nuts, but I don't have those experiences. And for people like me and probably Jerry too, it's like, I want to experience that. I just can't really envision it. It sounds.
It's called meditation. And it's, I mean, yeah, and because I'm more open to seeing things now, and it's okay. And I think part of the reason that maybe that was, with that though too, is that I cut a cord. I'm just gonna say, there was something ever since Maxwell, that 72 hours. Okay. You can attest to this. There's been a
don't say names.
No, there's been a connection with Harold and I when he physically, something is wrong with him, and it's happened more than several times.
Well, and all I can say about this is, and there's reasons why this happened, but last time I talked to him, not last time, there was one time where I talked to him recently. I think it was before the reading, but like, I got an instant headache when I started talking.
Yes,
and I'm not saying Harold's evil or anything.
But
so
wait,
nobody think that I'm talking.
When that happened, like the day before, I cut my cord to Harold, and then he started. So now he's getting it.
But me and Harold, we do have a connection anyway.
Yeah,
where's me and Harold?
But,
I'm like a little Harold.
But look at me. From Maxwell, I've had a connection with him because I actually said something about, I told Jeff to watch somebody's neck. I said, well, be careful, somebody's neck. And then the next morning, he's like, yeah, Harold's neck was hurting him because he maybe slept wrong or something. But it was like, okay. But ever since then, there's been time, there's been a couple times I've told Jeff, hey, is something bothering Harold? And I will tell him what's like on the left side, right side. And then he'll call and say, yeah, Harold said something about that. I'm like, so, but I finally cut the cord, and then he started getting it. So it's like now it's on him, and Carmen and I both are like, cut the cord.
Maybe that's why my back hurts.
Could be, but yeah. So I mean, like I said, and if people, I mean, that's the thing. If people don't really know me, they're going to be like, yeah, she's full of it. But if you know me and you know that I am still fresh at this, but at Harold's, ever since I stepped in the house, the first time I ever stepped, well, actually, the first time Jeff took me to his house, we actually did an investigation in Harold's office, and something actually pushed me down when I was trying to stand up. And then Harold sent us to a cemetery. And then Jeff took us to the wrong side.
We went to the cemetery first.
No, we went to the cemetery after.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah, so, but ever since then, I think that's when it all started, is that first time I went to Harold's house. And then it was just the attachment. But now I don't, like I said, I cut the cord on that, and so it doesn't seem to, I haven't had any issues since, but now Jeff does. So.
And no, I don't make it sound like I have issues when I talk to him. It's just
Oh,
that
no.
one time, man.
But it doesn't
the length
happen.
of time I was talking to him, I got a headache immediately, and it went away as soon as I got off the phone. It was.
But it doesn't happen every time.
No,
But it does happen. Like, I would get, like, every
Yep.
time I talk to him, it doesn't happen. But it would be, like, getting, like, more and more and more. So I finally was, like, and I asked my mentor, Carmen, I'm like, is this normal? And she's like, nope, cut the cord. So I asked, how do I cut the cord? She told me, and I'm like, okay. So I cut the cord, and I have no issues now. But I think that might be why some areas of that, like, I'm drawn.
Yeah.
But like I said, it was much better going this past time. So
I know for the longest time too, Carmen would even go over.
Yeah.
Something was funky hanging
Yeah.
out in the garage.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Boo?
But it seems to be okay right now. So but yeah, so there's lots of that, like there's different ways. Like sage isn't the only way to clear negative energy. You can use crystals, there's all kinds of like wise tales in it.
Oh my God, there's books written about.
Yeah. See, about cutting the cord. It's sometimes you just gotta do it. I know somebody, Rachel, that you and Lisa could do that with. Just saying.
Where's Boo going?
Boo just got up.
Do I
So
need to?
I might, go check on her.
You want me to?
Yeah, you can go check on her. So there's different ways.
Oh, hang on.
Like I said, you have you can do there's all kinds of different ways you can clear energy, but you have to realize when we do a cleanse at the end, it's not getting rid of like anything that's like demonic or like, it's just cleansing the energies, not anything else in the area. And I think some people really get confused with that. Carmen's really good about, if you have questions about that. Adam is good about that as well. I keep slowly learning all the things to help clear with the energy in that. There was a list of them, but because now my phone is all jacked up because we had to use it for other stuff. Let's see. One moment. I'm trying to find it. And I can't. This is what happens when we can't pull up just pictures on the thing. But yeah, with the negative energies, and I'll also investigate before you decide what what things you're going to use for negative energies, because sometimes if you don't prep the right way, they could cause more damage than doing it doing it the right way will be okay, but the wrong way might not.
Something too that I did learn is that like in the medical field, they actually, negative energies is a thing that was on a medical website, not like a scientific research or anything like that, but it was actually on WebMD, like the definition of negative energies and what the causes are and the effects. And I was like, they acknowledge that, because sometimes a person will walk into a room and you're just like, ugh.
Yeah,
you don't even know why. They haven't said anything yet. They haven't looked at it. You just like. Ooh.
Well, we all know. Okay, some people that are here may know this. I have a hard time with energies. Like, okay. I read people's energies, and sometimes I have a really hard time hiding that I am just not getting good vibes. And it's been brought to my attention recently even more. And I try, but I just really, I have a really hard time sometimes
She
with
doesn't have a very good poker face.
not when it comes to like, I mean, when I get really bad vibes on people, my demeanor changes really quickly, and I don't, I didn't realize it till just recently, and so I'm gonna try to work on that. So people, but yeah, so I mean, I'm sure people know when I have a bad energy flow going, but
Yeah, it was probably.
yeah, so it's just, I mean, just yeah. So I mean, you can tell when it's a bad energy. Like even when I'm going into like investigations, I can tell if I'm gonna have if it's going to be an okay one or if it's going to be like I don't know. And sometimes, I mean, I think there's been one or two that I've like, yeah, I'm not going.
Here's another correlation that and obviously this isn't the factual rule or anything like that, but a lot of times people with clutter tend to have negative energy around them. Like a lot of the houses that we've gone to where we've determined it's some kind of bad juju thing, the house is usually a mess. I mean, it's very common, and it may not even be a spirit haunting them or something like that. It just might be residual negative energy that needs to be cleansed out. But the house is usually dark. The curtains are always closed. There's clutter everywhere. It's dirty. That tends to draw. Or is there like a negative thing about the person which causes that kind of behavior? I don't know.
See, but that goes back to a mental health thing though too. Is it a mental health thing or
is it? Sometimes
but
I don't think it's mental.
Like, well, for me, I will admit, it takes me a lot. I mean, I like to just pile stuff, but I'm also ADHD, and it takes a lot for me to order. So it's either it's a pile. It could be a pile, but it's an organized pile. I know it's in that pile, so don't move my pile because I know how the pile is. But then if it's not that, then it's got to be exactly don't touch anything. So it's like one or the other. And anybody that has ADHD will understand that. It's like either you have the pile or it has to be and like at work, okay, everybody laughs at me at work. At work, I have like everything it has to be in its spot, and I know if somebody touches or moves anything at my desk, it's like don't touch my desk. And then, but like paperwork though too, I have to have everything has to be like I have to have a list of certain things in a certain order, or like a certain way. I have to have. I mean, I just have to have stuff in certain. It has to be. It's almost like a regiment. And like when I'm setting up for the day, I have like for work, it's same thing. Everything has to be regimented out. But then I think because I get so overwhelmed with that at work, when I come home, it's just like it's an organized pile. And it's like, yeah. And it just has to be that way because I can't. It's my ADHD is
my
really
brother. My brother Brian he used to be that way. He was OCD to the nth degree. If I went and I moved something, I'm not even joking, a quarter of an inch, he would know it. But he would have an inch of dust on everything in the house. Like he wasn't a clean freak, but he was very, very organized. If you would take an album and put it out of order, alphabetical order, or genre or whatever, I mean, he would know it. And it'd freak him out.
So yeah, because like right now at my desk, because everybody laughs because when I train someone, I have to rearrange my desk a little bit because I have to have extra stuff out, which weirdly enough, I've been so busy at work, I've not been able to re-put my desk back together to where I like it after I get done training someone because I've just been so busy because we just added a couple new offices at work. And so, but I'm like that at work. It's like, but also at work, I can tell you this. If my day starts off with I can tell how my day is going to be within the first 5 calls of the day. And if I have my first 5 are all negative, my whole day is a negative day.
I can tell my day is going to be at the coffee store.
That too.
If I spill my coffee or something bad happens, or if
If
happens,
and that has happened because that's part of an ADHD kind of OCD, and it's his OCD, my ADHD. We have to get our coffee at the same place every day.
Yep.
Every day, Monday,
I've tried
Sunday
making
through
coffee at
Saturday,
home.
and I
There's
can
nothing wrong with the taste,
occasionally.
I just can't do it.
I can occasionally make it at home because sometimes I like a pumpkin spice coffee, but I kid you not, it has the same regimen, and it's like ice cubes in his large coffee, nothing in the small one. You get the cream up to the line.
Got to be enough.
3 packets of the yellow, 2 packets of the yellow in his medium, and then mine I make myself, but he actually makes it too. But mine's the same thing. He has mine formulated out too. I just get a different type because I don't like the strong coffee. Mine's a little bit weaker. But if I don't have that coffee in the morning, my day is plus. I mean, it just goes downhill quick. But I mean, his is even worse.
Yeah. Like if their coffee machine is out there,
it's bad.
I might as well just go
It's
home.
really bad. It's really, really bad. I mean, we'll have to get him coffee, but it's not going to be a good day. But same thing. Like I said, though, within 5 calls, I can tell what my day is going. Or actually, I can tell even. This is even one. I can tell if I don't get calls right away, but I walk in and I notice that there's certain people not there right off the bat. I know it's gonna be an off day, and then I rely on those first 5 calls, and usually I can tell I know the first 5 are gonna be bad if I know who's there and who's not, and if there's unexpected nots, it goes quickly, very quickly. So
I just saw on the computer what my problem is today.
what
The
is
pollen is very high.
yeah.
The cottonwood is the last week or 2 has been killing me.
Yeah, I've actually been having to take extra allergy medicine on top of my daily one, but also my face has been real itchy again. So I'm like, my new job is in the middle of trees. Our office sits in tons of trees, so it's not fun. But yeah, so negative energy, I mean, it affects you. Like for me, even going into like a store,
Yeah, there's times
Sense-
that we'll go
okay.
to Myers to go grocery shopping, and man, it's like, okay, we got to get what we need and get the hell out of here. I cannot. I don't know why I can't take that place sometimes. A lot of times, I don't know if it's the lighting in there.
this is funny.
Like it drives. Myers drives me crazy.
How often do I go grocery shopping without you?
Not very often,
Why?
because you don't like grocery stores.
Why?
Because people are weird.
Well, they're weird, but I get anxiety. My anxiety is beyond because I can't with all the negative energy.
And
I
okay,
just can't do
here's
it.
dumb crap that I'll do. Like, when I go shopping by myself, it's easier to get away with doing this. Like, if I come across an aisle that I want to go to and I know what I need is on the other end, but there's 2 people that are kind of here in this end, I'll go to the next aisle, go around and come back because I don't want to feel like I'm in their way.
Yeah. So for me, it doesn't matter if there's one person or no I mean, there's one person or not. It doesn't matter. I get really, and it's weird because it's not every time I go
Nope.
because I've actually gone. Sometimes I go and I'm okay, but I found the less people, the better I do. But I also know I probably get through the grocery store faster than I do anything else. But I used to like to go like to Hobby Lobby and all those places, and that even bothers me now. Yeah, I mean, I can't.
I hate
So I end up,
Target.
I buy a lot of stuff online because I just can't. I go to the store if I absolutely
I
have
think
to.
too with like Hobby Lobby, the aisles are so narrow.
Yeah,
I hate that store.
but I'm like, I'm just. I keep forgetting this is I just keep. I mean, it just really. I just can't do it anymore, and it just really is bad.
Yeah, I think Rachel. It's usually on Sundays that Myers freaks me out. Like I think it's too crowded. I think that's my problem with going there. But I can go to Kroger's.
But it's funny because I can go to Myers, or like if it's like on an off time, and I have no problem. But if I go, like if we would go now, I probably wouldn't be able to deal with it.
Really, I think now's a good time to go there.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't be able to deal with it now. But now, if I went, I wouldn't be able to go. I wouldn't. Well, one, I wouldn't go to Kroger's right now by myself.
No.
But but even in the morning,
I was almost killed there during the day.
Yeah, but I won't go to a store. And but now we also know that I have issues going to and and I have issues. I know we went to go see Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and this was before COVID. Oh my God, I was having like an anxiety attack.
And honestly, after COVID too, I'm really weird about crowds.
And see, now it's crazy because I'm worse after COVID than I was before COVID.
And I'm not a germaphobe. I'm not afraid of catching COVID. It's just
I've caught it enough times. I don't. That doesn't bother me.
I guess the crowds just bother me now. We're kind of. I think we're just dragging this out.
Just a little.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but I'm just saying. So, it's everybody has the negative energy. It's just some people can. I mean, just really it affects them more than others. And like I said, it just pulls on me anymore. And I just really negative energy. I try doing other stuff. Although I have learned a lot at work. I do 5-minute meditations. I will take a 5-minute break if I have to. If I've had that many calls in a row that I will. And weirdly enough, I do get the energy I do feel energy over the phone from people, and so that does not help at all either.
My back is on fire tonight. But no, too. Another theory that I have, and it's almost an hour, so probably won't talk about it much. But like, I really think too that if you're a negative person, you can actually manifest an actual negative entity.
Yeah.
And that's that's a problem too. And so I almost think a lot of times the negative entities don't cause you to have negative, effects. I think it's the other way around. I think you're a negative person. And there again, not everybody, but I think you're a negative person and you actually manifest something negative.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you have experience with this. When you're around negativity for so long, it just passes on to you, and you you start pulling that negative energy. And I mean, I was in that same boat. Once I finally said enough is enough, and the negative just went whoosh. And it was like a weight off of. I mean, just off of me. Yeah, that's for sure.
In my, I'm naturally a stuffer. I don't always things can be bothering me, and you'll never know. I'm a lot. Adam says he's that way. And that's I'm.
You guys are a lot alike.
Because there's a lot of times, like during the day, I'll be. We got, money stresses and things like that, sometimes and whatever. And I don't have a job where I have to communicate with people like Dana does, so I have nothing better to do than while I'm putting drywall mud on the wall, stress myself out about it. And then, and I really have to focus to not get into that negative.
But I make him talk about it sometimes.
Because I'll tell you what, I was there for a while, and I will never ever go back. That was a bad situation with that. That depression was.
Yeah.
Someday that video will come out too, because I'm not a narcissist and I don't typically film myself, but there was several times where it got so bad. Yeah, this is before we met. It got so bad, and the way I behaved was so bad that I would set up a video camera to videotape it, and the whole moral, I guess, of this video when it comes out, and it's going to be pretty personal and it'll be ugly and hard to watch, but it's just be cool to people, because you don't know, they could have a really good mask on, and you don't know if if just by being nice to them you can prevent them from committing suicide or something like that, or just being a jerk to them, you can push them over the edge, or it's crazy. I don't know. But that was a big lesson I learned. I chilled out a lot after having that experience, because it's after going through that, it was, I don't ever want to be the cause of somebody going off the deep end or going over the cliff because I wasn't cool.
Yeah, now it's my thing that even just smiling at someone can actually change or to make an impression to change their thought process.
Yeah, Harold's in here, so we got to be careful.
Yeah, but I just know, I know, right? But I know because just when we met, it's like everything really just with us
Yeah.
after we met.
Really, really quick.
Yeah. And it was just crazy how much everything had, like, the energy was just up and up and up and up, and it just kept getting better and better and better. And it kind of pulled us both out of, like, downward spiral. So it was like,
Because about a month or so before we met, I was definitely in the, like, okay, I need to do something to change this or I'm going to die. Like, for real. I'm not even being dramatic and anything like that. Like, I need to really change my attitude and how I think and all that other stuff, because
it just happened that we started talking, lost contact, and started talking again. And so it was meant for us not to have that 1 month apart of not talking and then meeting back up again then. Even though we lived across the river from each other the whole time.
Yeah, I could literally look out the back door of where I was staying and see her house. I couldn't see the house, but I could see the van.
If you, you could see, like, if I was standing at the end of my driveway, you could see where, I mean, he was standing out, you could wave to each other. So, so it was quite comical.
It was crazy.
Yeah. But, so just remember, I mean, negative energy, if you have, even if you have somebody that's, I mean, sometimes the negative energy that someone's giving out, or the vibe you get, you just got to kind of try to, don't let it affect you, and just try to push it away.
You're more sensitive than I am. Let me ask you this question. Can you send out something to that person to maybe change is there anything you can do to help that person in a like, you're passing by in the store and you see somebody and you're like, man, that person's got some funky.
Well, and that's the thing. That's weird
because you can do to
because I go on just the feeling. So if I feel like, say we're walking down this, like we're walking in the store, and I'll just get a vibe, and I'll just look at somebody and just be like, hi. And that could just be enough to change it. Or how are you doing? Or if they're having a bad day and it's just like, I mean, you just say it's just, it automatically.
Curse them or something.
But if you just, like I said, if you just actually, I mean, you might not even know that you're changing them, but I just get I get a vibe that just is like, hey, that you just need to say something. But sometimes I get a negative vibe from somebody, and I'm just like, nope, not even gonna, not gonna. I mean, and it's like a vibe that I know no matter what I do, it's not gonna change. So I just kind of just don't say anything. So
I think Rachel likes the voodoo theory.
Yeah. I do.
Kill.
Yeah, but so I mean, you can. I sense when I can't. I sense if I say something, it's gonna be good. Like even at work, there's sometimes that I know if I say something to somebody at work, it's gonna be.
That one lady though, the one day that I came to pick you up.
This was a long time ago.
Yeah, she was.
She doesn't work there anymore.
Right. She's a pretty negative person, right? So, but she's out after work one day.
Close to when she left.
Yeah. No. She was. Ready to go to her car, and she was talking to another coworker, and she's like, I told y'all I ain't wasting my sunshine on you motherfuckers no more. You know, she's just going on, and I'm not giving up all my good energy and good vibes to all you sick motherfuckers. She was
referring, and it wasn't referring. Sad thing is, she wasn't referring to patients. She was referring to all of us, but it was like, wait a minute.
But it was, I ain't wasting my sunshine on these people.
But it was like she was the negative, and so she was trying to reverse that on us. But it was like, yeah, no. Yep. But yeah, there's a lot of times that I can be like, yep, and I know just saying one thing to somebody can change their total day, and then, but there's some that I just am like, I get a block, and it's like, nope, that no matter what I do or say, it's not going to matter. So I just kind of, as Carmen says, I just put up my blinders and just kind of keep on going. Yep.
So, I mean, let me ask, okay, so now we're up to, we got 8 people in here. Should we start the show at 7:30 from now on, you think?
I don't know. It seems like 7:30 seems like to be a more popular.
Because it seems like usually the first half hour is really, really slow. Not excuse me.
Maybe we'll make a poll
especially in
food.
the summer too, because you know people get home and get to eating, and by the time they're done eating and cleaning up and stuff like that, it's probably usually 7:30 or 8. So
Yeah. Maybe I'll put a poll up this on food this week, and we'll see what people think, if we should start at 7 or 7:30.
Tramp says 8, but there's a reason I don't want to start at 8 because another friend of ours does a show
at
on
8.
Thursdays, and I don't want to impede on their time slot.
And not
I'm
only
weird
that,
way.
we do have to get up early. Not as
Yeah.
early as
I-
Adam,
yeah.
but
Well, I mean, I'm up till midnight anyway. But
Yeah.
like, so I don't.
but
mind
for me,
starting
I
at 8.
have to
It's
get
just,
up early.
I don't want to. Not that we're taking away their viewers, but I'm just saying I want people that I know, and when they have shows on certain days, I try to.
We're
stay
trying,
out of their
yeah,
time
we
slot.
try to keep
That's
away.
because I originally wanted to do this on Wednesdays, but Adam was doing
A show with
his
this
show on Wednesday nights, and I didn't want to. And then Sunday was my next day, but Harold does Ghost Talk sometimes on Sundays. He's going to get back into that real soon, I have a feeling. Right?
Right? Yeah.
He needs to start doing that again. But so I don't want to do it on Sundays, and
Right. And
I
plus, then
respect his time slot.
plus then we have conflict there with Tobes, us being Tobes too. 3 weeks I can't make it until.
Yeah.
I like 7.
You like 7?
Yeah, so we'll do a poll to see what people think. Because I said usually that 7 o'clock seems to be, for us it works, because except on my 6 o'clock nights it doesn't. But
Yep.
because I usually either get off at 5 or 6, so then I gotta come home quickly. But it also though, because then if I work my regular days, like today it doesn't matter because it's my late day tomorrow. So I mean, for me to be out a little bit later, it's no big deal.
And I got to start doing some more research too on the nights where we don't have guests, because
Yeah, this was kind of
kinda
thrown
wing
away.
it,
This
it
today
is.
was. I tried to do some research, but
I did
was
too, but
busy.
I couldn't find.
I couldn't find what I was looking
Right.
for.
Same here.
So it was like, but that's when I found the one thing about the one in Texas, that little mystery man.
And I thought too about maybe trying to, like, for next week's show, sometime just film like a little comedy skit, or like do maybe the first 10 minutes, like, okay, is there any paranormal news this week? Like that.
Well, we do have to get better about announcing the show too,
Yeah.
not the day of.
Yeah. Well, but sometimes if we don't have a guest, I don't want to commit to having a show on Thursday, on Monday,
Well,
because I
and-
might come to Thursday. And
But
I
this
don't feel
week
like
we
doing
didn't know what was going to go on because
Yeah.
of Boo too. So, but she was up enough that we are okay. But then again, that might change because last week, like I said, last week she
It's-
started up. But where is she actually?
I don't know. She went that way a while ago. I know she didn't go to the bathroom in the house. I
Okay.
let them out. But and two, like, the last couple days too, with getting that director position.
Yeah, that's
I'm
been.
trying to get caught up with. It's my one thing they didn't warn me about is you're
His
immediately
phone.
tossed into.
Ding, 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 ding,
You're
ding. I
immediately
bet.
put into Facebook. It's probably there's.
I was
probably
saying, I
30
bet right
notifications
now
on
he's probably got at least 50 messages just from there.
there. Last night from about 2 o'clock in the afternoon till 10 or 11 at night, that thing was constant.
Non-stop. Ding, ding. I mean, it was like one after another. It was like, at one point I came in, I'm like, what are you doing? Because it was that many. It was just so crazy.
But I got thrown into, immediately got put in several groups.
Mm-hmm.
Me and this one guy then are working on a Patreon page for the foundation, and him and we talked for 45 minutes about one of the projects.
Your crush?
He's not my crush. No, but he's. I don't want to say no more because I don't want to give details about what. So,
Yep.
Um,
It's going to be cool though.
yeah, but it's so him and I talked for 45 minutes. I'm doing all these messages. I'm trying to get all of my group together because there was a group chat for the Midwest region, and half of them weren't in it because they were harder to find on Facebook. But so I don't know. It's been a weird couple
Yeah,
days.
I keep saying I got to put my application in, but I actually have to put my application in.
Yeah.
So then he'll actually have a whole team here in Toledo, but we can always use more if somebody wants to join.
Tramp, I'm sorry, man. I don't have no man crushes. Yeah, Dalton is
Don's really nice.
he's got that southern accent,
He's young,
I
Southern
definitely
accent.
I don't bat that way, but I mean, he's a good-looking guy, and we were, joking in one of our group chats about like doing a show where Dalton goes on blind dates with like Annabelle and things like that. No, he hated the idea. He's like, we're not doing that. I'm like, dude, I suggested
Oh my
that as
gosh.
a joke.
No, I thought of something else instead of doing that. No, the dating game.
Yeah, he doesn't like any of those ideas.
Oh yeah, no. Oh, I'll talk to Dalton on that one.
No.
Yeah.
He don't like them. I think he's the same way though. He doesn't really like
No,
being in the
it's
spotlight.
actually it's crazy because he's very down to earth and very shy. I think.
One thing though,
And
I'll
so
say
it's
this
he's very shy. I think.
he's young, but man, that kid knows way more about paranormal shit than I do. Like he
lives,
for
eats, and
his
breathes
age,
it. I'm
for
like,
his
yeah.
age, and scientific, like, okay, so he used a ghost app once, and he used it one night, one or two sessions, whatever, filmed it and everything. And something went off in his head, like, okay, I think this is manipulated, but I can't figure out why. Because it seemed like it was legit and it was working and blah, blah, blah. So he goes on his phone and he looks at the app, and, he's way smarter than I am because I couldn't figure out how to do this. But he found all these, like, there was like 1,000 2-megabyte files that were attached to this app. And then he did some stuff at home where he would use the app. And I think what he said was that, like, so when he ran it through Audacity, the voice clips, so it would, like, maybe it would wait 2 minutes before it started its loop one time. The next time you used it, maybe it would be 5 minutes before it started. But you cut down that time to where they line up, and he said they all lined up.
Mm.
And then when you look at them, the voice patterns, the wave patterns, they were identical. I can say dog 10 times right now. They will not line up in waveform. One will be slightly different because I'll never say it the same way twice.
Right.
So he deleted these 2-megabyte files, all of these files off of his phone, and then ran the app. The app worked, but no voices came through it.
Yeah.
So he determined that was a fake app, and it's like, for he's only 21, 22, I think.
Yes.
And like to even come up with that theory and like that's someone who naturally has some gifts in the parent. Like I never would have thought of that. I definitely think of newer things like that now in my career, than I before every voice I caught was paranormal. But it's, I don't know. But it's pretty, But anyway, he's a good dude. He's very smart and he's a cool guy too. So. But no, there's no man crush.
He's gonna be the poster pinup for the Warren Foundation. Yeah.
But we do need to film a joke sketch about him going on a date with Annabelle. I think that would be funny. Yeah, I agree with you, Jerry. There's more research I could have done, but when I taught at the class, that was the determination I came up with too.
Yeah.
Because no phone has EMF reading technology on it. Yet there's EMF apps for your phone like crazy.
Yeah.
You can, and plus they're all programmed. Like,
It's like his head is up against your chair.
So maybe that's a show we can do sometime. Is like get more in depth of the research that I've done on the apps and some of the equipment that we use. But I kind of don't know if I want to do it because although most people in here have taken the class.
Yeah, but if
it's
you
one of the
have
class
not,
sections I do. Yeah, we are doing a class again.
in
with
August,
Phil.
it will be the class will be on again at Owens.
Does it start like the 6th?
I believe so. Jerry probably knows.
Yeah, it's on the Tokes page, and we'll post it.
Yeah, we post. I mean, we all we share it all pretty much on all the pages.
Yeah.
But and somebody did ask if it is. What's that for?
Tramps at sea. So
some have asked if it's the same as 101 and 102. No, it is not. It's more of the scientific explanations and not.
There's a lot more theory discussion.
And I would say scientific approaches and theory rather than the just like how to ghost hunt kind of things.
Yeah. This too, another benefit to this one is it's the same price, and instead of 3 weeks in a field trip, it's actually 4 weeks plus a field
And a
trip.
field trip, yeah.
So I mean that's a good bonus. And the field trip isn't listed in the guide,
Yeah.
but we did one last time, and we'll do one again this time for sure.
Yeah, pretty much everybody, we always do
Yeah.
some kind of field trip. And it might not be like right after the
Yeah,
class,
like I think it
but
was
it's
couple weeks
within a
after last time.
couple weeks or about a month or so after the class. So, but the last one was an interesting one we did. So
Yeah.
it was fun.
Well, anyway, are you ready to wap it up, or do you got anything else to say?
I think that is it because I gotta go
get up
check
a little
on
bit. My
Boo
back is
because I don't know
killing
where
me.
she's at, and Bubba's like wanting me to move, so I'm like, I don't know if something's going on with Boo, and he wants me to know about it. So
All right, so we will see you all probably next week.
probably
All right, good
okay.